Good morning and welcome to Karmathigzam Choling, Buddhist Meditation Center. Buddhism is really about happiness. It's really about liberating ourselves from the negative influence of our attachments.
Currently, I am the director of Gainesville Karmathigzam Choling, which is a Tibetan Buddhist meditation center under the guidance of His Holiness 17th Karmapa.
What do? I am a writer, poetry mostly, but I also teach yoga and help out in the office of Dr. David Bull.
My name is Lama Lozang. I am the spiritual director of this center, but I wear a number of hats. I also do traditional Chinese medicine, teach Tai Chi, and coordinate other centers, Buddhist centers in Florida. I was always interested in the mind. It started early in my teens in the martial arts, and when I was doing the martial arts with Kenji Nonin, who was a Japanese martial artist, we would do meditation as part of our martial arts. And that immediately there was something about that was very attractive. And he was always very calm, centered, and those two went together for me. It's like, okay, you practice meditation, you have a particular view that is in line with reality. As I continued along my path, I continued to study meditation, Vedanta, in the Indian tradition, and gradually to Zen, and ultimately to Tibetan Buddhism. I went to the University of Florida to study psychology. Buddhism was not very popular when I started my practice. It was more in the transpersonal psychology, which started to talk about meditation, but it was still really new. And my dissertation was using meditation as a vehicle to train counselors. This world is in crisis. In seeing patients, in doing the things that I do, I see the conflict, I see the anxiety, I see the wrong view of the nature of reality, and people struggling, grasping, attached to certain very ephemeral, changing things. And the degree of our suffering is really the degree of our attachment.
He's quietly profound. That is actually, if you ask me two words, he's quietly profound. When you listen to him the first time, you're like, oh wow, that's interesting, that's good. But when you really listen to him, you can feel how he talks to your heart and how he talks to the higher version of yourself.
The Buddha was really an educator. He wasn't a prophet. He wasn't the head of a spiritual thing. He was a teacher. What he taught was what is reality? What is the correct view, and how do we function in this world? The highest level of understanding leads to compassion and loving kindness. And when you see suffering in the world, you want to relieve it. And the way we relieve it is through a right understanding, a right view, and we see the cause of suffering. It's about total liberation and freedom. So once one understands the nature of reality, one is free, liberated, and attains the state, what's called nirvana, peace, happiness. Acupuncture is a vehicle for health and healing that includes the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual, where we're looking at the whole person, and not just the physical aspects, but we don't live in a vacuum. What's going on in your home environment, what's going on in your relationships, what's going on in work, what's going on with your diet, with your food. So we take the whole person in consideration. But until you change the fundamental understanding of the nature of reality, I think that is really the fundamental healing that needs to take place. So that's what led me to that.
What I notice every single day, the patients that come in, he doesn't see an illness or an imbalance. He sees the person in their potential of full wellness and takes every patient individually and not as a symptom.
My teacher, my 3-year retreat guide, Kimbakarta Rinpoche, I asked him if I could take ordination, and in his kindness he said yes. That was my Getzel vows. Those are the preliminary vows. And then at the completion of my 3-year retreat in 2004, I took full ordination called the Getzal vows, the Gelong vows of a fully ordained monk. It requires strong intention. Most monks live in monasteries. Most monks have a lot of support. But Rinpoche gave me the title Lama and said, go and teach. The important part of Buddhism is the teachings of the Buddha, the historical Buddha who lived 2,500 years ago. And his teaching is called the Dharma. Those who have ordination, such as myself, fully ordained monk in the Karmakagyu tradition, teach the Dharma, and that's really my function, is to lead people as a guide in meditation, in a healthy lifestyle, ethical, moral, to be kind of a lighthouse for peace, health, healing, the teachings of the Buddha.
Dr. Bull has this uncanny ability of making people realize their interconnections. I teach yoga and I am a writer, and it's made me rethink how can I combine those efforts and be of more service to help others. The dogma sometimes of religion is scary, and I think part of that I realized when I was a religion writer. I ran away from a lot of the dogma and the rules, and there's this, and this. With Lama Losang, I realized that that's all extraneous stuff. That's all outside of me, and everything that I need to understand is all within me, and it's about bringing my body, mind, and spirit back to its natural state.
He's just one of the very most kind and compassionate people, and he's so knowledgeable, but he's also very easygoing. So there wasn't the pressure of, am I doing this right? He was always there to help. We oftentimes will teach intro to Buddhism classes together, and we have a good rapport with each other. It's fun to teach with him.
There are many Buddhas. Our central Buddha in back of me is Medicine Buddha. And this is the one that resonates with me. There have been many Buddhas throughout history, thousands, and I resonate with the Medicine Buddha and the teachings that go with that. It is the healing aspects of both the Dharma and the teachings of the Buddha. So to be healthy in our physical body, our mental body, our emotional body, our spiritual body. There's one Buddha is not better than another Buddha. Buddha is Buddha, and they all share a particular understanding, but they manifest slightly differently. So Medicine Buddha is about healing. So if you were to ask me what do I resonate with the most, my practice is primarily around Medicine Buddha.